Alright folks, Acid Roots here, so I've got another episode of Final Fantasy VII. We're going to throw this together and you'll see what happens with it. So, yeah, last time we left in the middle of a boss battle and stuff, and this boss is kind of tricky just because he uses status techniques to kind of turn the tide of the battle, and if he traps all three party members in a bubble, it's over. I mean, it's automatic game over, so you have to... Basically, like I said last time, I didn't really know how to, like, get the characters out of the bubble, so I just wound up attacking the characters, and it may not be the most sure shot way of getting a victory here, but at least it prevents like a game over. So, and that's this kind of thing. So you want to at least, I want to say that fireworks on it, but yeah. Not every character. The problem that I'm having is I've noticed about this game thus far is I have not really encountered that many towns. I really have been, like, that's one of the premier things about RPGs is the fact that you go to towns and you talk with the townspeople and stuff, but, you know, this town that we're in right now is really kind of hodgepodge. It has, like, 2 houses that you can go in, and probably all the more of, like, 3 or 4 people total to talk to. I don't know, I mean, the game has been kind of, like, gun-shy about, you know, showing off the characters that you can actually engage in dialogue with. And, I mean, it hasn't really been about battling that much either, though. I mean, this is probably only, like, the 6th, 7th boss battle that there's been, and we're, like, 4 or 5 hours into the game. So it's just kind of... I don't know what's been taking up the majority of this. I mean, there's been dialogue, but it feels like... I don't know, it's just strange, you know? Surely, because this is episode 35, if you've seen most of these, you can lapse into it and kind of figure out what's going on here, but it's just kind of an awkward premise that, you know, but it's not like this game is bad, but I just look at it and I'm like, you know, it's just been all over the place. So, I mean, it's being well-rounded. I think that's the more better trajectory for it, so. But we're getting ready to enter, like, some kind of peppy stuff here, so that's kind of, it's interesting just the way that the game takes a complete 180 in direction here pretty soon. I mean, it's been kind of moody, been kind of like you know, emo almost in a sense, but you'll see what happens here in a little while once we get past this boss and stuff, and a little bit after that. But it's kind of like hell. So yeah, had to get one last attack in. You know, boss characters don't do that too much, where even after you beat them, they still have something that they can do. Just to make sure, just in case you really only had like 1 hit point left, just so you couldn't win like that. They wanted you to actually effectively beat the boss rather than just getting by. So, but Priscilla is not doing too well. So, yep, this is kind of similar to something that happened in Final Fantasy VI. This should bring back, like, memories of that if you made it to the World of Ruin at the very beginning. I think you had to get, like, fish for that Cid character or something, but, I mean, Priscilla's cool. She's definitely got some good vibes about her, but I don't know how much more often she's going to pop up in the story. I was just surprised that, you know, because basically what you have to do is CPR, and it's strange that this game would involve that. I mean, this is what I talk about when I say this is the most random, off-the-wall stuff that winds up being in this game. I mean, it makes sense, and I'm not mad, but, you know, you look at it, and it's like, what is this? I mean, it's an extra... I mean, yeah, this is a game. You have to know how to do CPR in this, so you have to kind of get it correctly. So you press square, and then the gauge fills up, and then you press square when it's at the top by the top red in the lungs, and then you'll give like a full amount of air. So, but you're going to be doing this for a little while, so it's not like an easy 3 breaths and she's back to normal, so just understand that. But I mean, it makes sense that members in the military would be trained with CPR and stuff. I mean, really, Cloud should, you know, not just be a warrior, but also somewhat of a medic in cases. I mean, he should have at least, it makes sense that he'd know how to do that. But it's not, I mean, honestly, you learn CPR in school, but this is kind of the thing, so. You know, Barrett didn't want to. You know, he's kind of slyly over there like, nope, And I don't think he's an asshole like that, but just to kind of say, like, you know, you can come up with some joke as to why he wouldn't do it. Like, hey, I just had fish tacos, like, 30 minutes ago. So she does, well, not if, but she'll come back to life and have bad breath if I do it. So it's only you, Cloud. Kind of the thing, but... yeah. Yeah, like I was saying, this town is just really kind of off to the wayside. Just didn't have much going. It just feels like you're just supposed to kind of, like, just kind of not even be concerned with this town. It's odd, you know? The next town after this is pretty interesting, but even then it kind of felt almost like, I mean, the game kind of just carries you along and stuff, and I really feel like, I mean, in the original Final Fantasies, the ones for the Nintendos and stuff, I mean, when you got to a town, you typically saved, talked with the people, they had their problems, and you kind of indulged in that sort of stuff, but, I don't know. I mean, I know that this game is designed for teenagers, but I don't know why it just feels so kind of scant, almost. And this is a deep game. You gotta understand that this is like, this was one of the beefiest games back in the late 90s, and I mean, it had the most staying power for most video games for the longest time. So this is kind of, I don't know. I mean, I want to say, I mean, it's just that I feel like some of these early towns are just so short-lived. I mean, I want to talk to, like, I mean, obviously, you know, you could say, well, go play the Final Fantasy VII Remake, but, alright, so you're going to see a brief clip from Gary back when he used to live with me, so hang on a second.
Welcome to Burger World, this is Gary Nitro. I'll take your order and, wait a second, someone tell Lawrence I get off in 26 minutes.
Yeah, so, wanted to include that. That was a clip from Gary at his job back in 2020 and stuff, so... kind of happens to be the thing there, but yeah, I forgot what I was talking about. Talking about something. I was talking about the towns and the size of the towns and stuff. But I don't really remember. Like, we'll keep going with it. I mean, I think it stands to reason. I think the replay value of this game is large, but yeah, it's just kind of, I don't know. I'm losing train of thought. You get the idea, but. I want more towns to be more in-depth. I want to really... That's what I was talking about. I was talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake, but I wonder how that's going. I know that there's at least one of those games out, but really that game, the first one came out in 2020. There's supposed to be 3 of those. I don't know what they're doing. You know, between COVID going on and just wondering what's going to come up with that sort of thing, I'm just like, what is going on here, you know? I need to pay more attention to that stuff. It almost makes me want to get one of the later machines, but I don't know. This is about, I would definitely play this game, but I have to kind of wonder, there needs to be more stuff, but that's a whole different subject, whole different tangent. So Cloud's got some memories, kind of similar to how he was at the laboratory with that Hojo dude. Plays that creep. I know there's going to be more moments like this later on in the game. I mean, I know this game is kind of hiding some of these leery, kind of moody Cloud moments just because he's the most troubled character in this game. But, you know, that's kind of, I mean, yeah, one of the most troubled characters. That's kind of the thing there. But, yep. So, I kind of want to mess with Final Fantasy VIII a bit. I'm almost thinking of us to wondering what that would wind up being like as far as trying to get that game up and running and such, but yeah, I mean, that would probably take me years to do also. I mean, you would never guess just by watching this that I started this in 2020. That is kind of the thing, but yeah, what is Cloud talking about here? What is going on? They're just being very mysterious right now. It's kind of like, get your Sherlock Holmes magnifying glasses out. And yeah, I mean, this game is very faintly mentioning Sephiroth. I mean, we're not seeing him, but he has been around. That's something to extra information to know, is just the fact that he kind of is in the same neighborhood. I mean, we're just missing him, but just like back at when he killed off that Midgar Zolom, I mean, he is in the proximity. I mean, the story is not full blown talking about it, but these guys, I don't know if they still go by Avalanche, but the Avalanche crew, Cloud, Tifa, Barrett, and all them, they're basically, what am I trying to say here? They're going after Sephiroth. I think they're more concerned with him than they are with Shinra. But you have to understand that there's basically two enemies at once and stuff, so it's just kind of like, it's basically double trouble here, and in some cases more than that, because all of the Shinra basically have their, nastiness about them. There's the president, which you're going to be hearing from. I mean, this is a military town, so I think you can tell by the music that there's a change of pace going on here, but I'm definitely going to save, as there's some stuff coming. The save points are kind of dicey, and there's some games that are showing up too, so we've got that to worry about. Hey, you got some stuff. This is kind of, like I said, when this is a balanced game, it's not just they're kind of peppering it in. And really, it's been a little while since there's just been full-blown random battles and stuff, which I'm surprised by. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and talk to all these party members. They've got interesting stuff to say, and I miss the times when we used to only talk about fish. You must not be living in a very proud situation when you would rather talk about fish. I mean, he could have at least said, talk about, the athletes in the town or something like that, but this game really doesn't mention sports that's something I think they kind of realized that with Final Fantasy. That's why they made Blitzball and stuff in Final Fantasy X, but there's really no mention of sports. I wouldn't suppose they full-blown played something like baseball. Maybe they mentioned baseball, I don't remember. I want to say in one of the early towns in this game you could catch something on television that referenced sports, but it was just very kind of not overly promoted. And I wonder if we're going to have any sort of after effects of that, but yeah, so we're going to talk with Priscilla real quick, and then we'll get forth. But that's actually not going to spawn in this episode, so you're going to have to... There's a little bit left, but basically what happens after this is going to spawn in part 36. So... I know you're liking the peppy music right now. This is so... I didn't know what to think of it when I first encountered it. I was kind of what is this? What is going on? I mean, you can tell it's some sort of parade in mind, some sort of beaming kind of peppiness that I was talking about before, but yeah, just one thing to extra kind of have to know about. So Shinra president. Yep, Rufus is another character we have to tangle with, so there's a ton of them. It's interesting. I know, and that's the thing. There's all the corporate Shinra executives and stuff. That's why I like when this game gets that way, because it kind of goes through the vice kind of government and stuff. So it kind of makes you think of like British Parliament and United States government and that type of stuff. And I don't know if I don't know what Canada has and what Mexico has in some of those places, and Australia and Europe and some of those places, but just in Asia. But just the general type mentality of some of that. Alright, so we're about we'll be concerned with some of that next time, so get ready, subscribe for more fun. Thanks for watching, have a wonderful night, and I will see y'all in part 36.